we need to step up in courage and power. And when I say step up in courage, it doesn't mean you're not frightened, right? To be not frightened means to not be courageous. Do you understand why? Because the idea of being courageous means there has to be something to be afraid of. If there weren't anything that we were afraid of, then we wouldn't be exercising courage. So actually having fear is not the sign of not being courageous. It's actually the sign of being courageous when you have fear and you take the action anyway. Isn't that cool? One day that flipped for me, and that became very clear for me. I always thought, I'm not courageous because I'm afraid. And then one day I realized that I was acting despite my fear. I was letting the butterfly in me lead me to my highest calling. And as I did that, I was trembling sometimes when I would step forward to make certain decisions and to take certain actions. And it hit me that this is courage. Being afraid and doing it anyway, that's courage. So I invite you to be very courageous and to continue on this process. And if any fear comes up, know that you are supported and held in a space. Know that it looks right and normal for any kind of process of transformation. Let me just take that in for a minute. Because another thing I want you to know is that you don't have to know how to fly. I think sometimes we want to step out of things because we think, I have to know how to fly. But the truth is, again, the opposite. You shouldn't know how. Really, think about it. If you knew how, you'd probably already be doing it. Isn't that so? So to be in a place that you're at, which is a place of moving into evolution, is to say, I don't know how. It's to feel, I don't know how. When you commit, you're simply saying, I'm going to take this step here now. And then the next, and the next, and I'm going to allow my personal evolution to reveal itself as I take one courageous step after another. And the how will show up as I take the step. The how will be the universe's answer to my showing up and to my stepping up. And take a drink, because that's the big one. Everyone just take a drink and let that one in. Because this point is illustrated so well in a scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You may already know the one that I'm thinking of. Indy is standing at the edge of a huge ravine that he has to cross in order to once again, save the day. I mean, it's huge. We're not talking about a little river here. You can't see the bottom. There's just a black abyss there between a very wide ravine with a black abyss and ragged walls. And the drop is so far, it would absolutely kill him. In his head, he's remembering, you hear this voice, that he's remembering that he's been told that he'll need to take a leap of faith. And he's looking at the ravine, and the voice is telling him he needs to take a leap of faith, and he's looking at the ravine. And so finally, with sweat beads rolling off his forehead, and remember what we said about taking action and being courageous. I mean, he's literally just sweating out of fear. He puts one shaky foot forward, out, and he steps. And suddenly, wham, a bridge shows up beneath his foot. Wow. Is he ever relieved? And everyone in the audience is as well, right? This bridge just shows up. And I love that analogy. I love that metaphor. This has happened for me so many times in my life. The point is that the how shows up when we commit. Now, commitment, I want to be very clear again here, a little aside. Commitment is a first chakra energy. So if you're upper chakra dominant, commitment has this big sound to it that's like, oh, commitment. It has this scary, it's like a nasty word, like certain nasty words would sound better than commitment. I really, really want to help you shift this. Commitment is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. Commitment moves mountains, and in a magical way, not in the way that our mind does, not in a mental way where we have to know how. No, when we commit dynamically, the universe and all other forces in the universe work for us. The world conforms to our faith, commitment, and action. Let me say that again, because that is really, really big. You don't really need to take notes because you can always listen to playback, but if you're taking notes, write that down. The world conforms to our faith, commitment, and action. So close your eyes now for a moment and imagine you're Indiana Jones and you're standing at that big ravine. Call up all that you can in your imagination to just be there. You're at the ravine. It's a long way down. The other side is a long way away. But you've been told that when you come to this path, you will be supported. And now you know that your butterfly self is on the other side of the ravine. It's somewhere on that other side, your full chakra abundant self. Stick your shaky foot out there. And as you do, feel the bridge come up to meet your feet. Feel it come up and support you. The universe supporting you, guiding you, showing you the way. Isn't that a great feeling? And if that was challenging at all to imagine, just do it again, like a muscle. Sometimes it's hard for me when I'm weightlifting to pick up a certain weight, so I work on a lighter weight. And I work on it and I work on it, and then eventually I can do it. It's just development. Everything in life is just development of muscle. So as long as we know what we're about, we know what we stand for, we're going to get there. So take a minute to feel into that part of yourself, that butterfly part. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax and anchor into that part of yourself, your evolving self, the you of your highest potential. Feel it. If there's any sound, any texture, anything that comes to you, any colors, just notice. Let yourself experience your version of your evolving self. Take a deep breath in again and really anchor the feeling in your body. Remember it. So the next time you feel challenged or scared, you can call up this feeling of your evolving self. This part of you that goes with you all the time as you grow and shift. The part that in the caterpillar was the same even when the caterpillar didn't look anything like the butterfly, and vice versa. They were still the same being. Breathe into that and maybe take a drink. You can call this up anytime, easily and effortlessly. So that's a really strong tool. And you can go there over and over again. Let it be a question perhaps throughout your day. Where is my butterfly self? Or if that doesn't give you enough grounded feeling, where is my evolving, eternal self? Where is my center? And as you ask that, allow yourself to actually experience that part of yourself. The experience is what's so important, because as you experience it, you anchor it. As you anchor it, you can access it. As you can access it, it will become a tool whenever you need it, right there for you and always moving forward. And your unconscious now, through this exercise, knows to go to this empowered feeling, this awareness of your evolving self whenever you feel challenged or uncomfortable. This part of you may not erase all of the discomfort, but it will give you the strength and tenacity to keep moving forward, to take the leap of committed faith and make that bridge appear. And not because you know how, or not because you're going to get out a hammer and build the bridge, but because you have that much energy power within you that the universe coordinates to bring it to you. Now notice I didn't say just thinking about it. You took action. And in certain analogies, perhaps you will build the bridge, and perhaps you'll love building the bridge. But the point I want to make is the power of commitment is unbelievable. Active, faith-oriented commitment. Commitment that takes action, especially tenacious, repetitive action. Did you know that a rock is actually weaker than water? Because the rock doesn't move, but the water can drip drip, 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 drip. You get the point tenaciously. And when you're that water, you can make a hole through a rock, because that's exactly what drips of water can do.